morning. I'm Sherry Youngblood, and I was selected as J.T. Reddick's Teacher of the Year for this year. This is my 6th grade art classroom, and today we'll be talking about the elements of art. Hey y'all, I'm Paula Dean. Welcome to my show, Paula's Home Cooking. Today we're going to make one of my favorite recipes passed down to me from my grandma Paula. It's called the Elements of Art cake, and I just love the elements of art. We're going to see what we get when we mix some of those together into my grandma Paula's cake. Let's give it a try. First thing that I need to add for my Elements of Art cake are 2 lines, and I love nice straight lines in this recipe. They're a little bit long, so I think I'm going to break my lines in half. I don't think straight lines are quite enough. Maybe we need to add some curved lines. They'll add a little more to our recipe. Put in a few more curved lines. Shape. Shape's one of my favorites. In fact, shape, this was one of my boys' favorites. When they used to sit in front of the TV, Bobby and Jamie Dean loved shapes on Saturday mornings watching cartoons. Half a cup of shape. We've got some geometric shapes and some organic shapes. Half a cup. Is that really enough? Let's add a little more. Yum. Let's add a little bit of space. Space. Paula Dean's favorite ingredient. Y'all know how much I love space. So we're going to add about 4 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. Let's just go and add it all. It can't hurt. Space. Value. I bet y'all like value a lot. Value is good on a cold winter's night. Keeps you all snugly warm. 3 tablespoons of value in my Elements of Art cake. 1, 2, 3. Let's just add a little more. Texture. Texture is so good. I like the way texture looks, and I like the way texture sounds. I'm going to add half a cup. Looks like about a half cup. Let's add in color. And this is your favorite, I know. And I know that color is your favorite because I've seen some posters hanging out in the hall. And you boys and girls like a little color. You like some nice yellow. And I know you like red. I've seen red on some of those posters. You certainly like some green. I've seen green on them too. Oh, and then our personal favorite here in Tift County, blue. A little bit of blue added to our recipe. Last but not least, form. Half a cup of form. Form goes so good. So good in this cake. Let's add a little more. And now, let's stir our cake together with just a little bit of water. It'll help bring everything all together, don't you think? Mixing those elements of art up. Doesn't that look wonderful? No. Well, through the magic of television, I have already had the chance to bake our cake up in a little pan. Let's take a look at our Elements of Art cake. My goodness, at the elements all over the place. Elements on top, elements inside, elements all around. They're going to taste mighty good, aren't they? Oh, Trey, don't you think?
Yes.
Looks delicious. What we have to learn today is how to use those elements of art, how to incorporate them within our artwork, to make a drawing or a painting or some clay that uses just the right amount of ingredients in the right combinations. There is nothing wrong with using all the elements of art within one of your artworks. The problem is when you use too many of one. Should we ever mix all those colors together at one time? Probably not. Should we ever mix all of those lines and value and shape all together in those amounts? No. There's not a real recipe for art, not a true recipe that tells you exactly how to mix things up in order to make the perfect piece of art. But we can learn just a few simple tips and hints that will make your artwork better. We can learn how to combine one or two lines. We can learn how to add a couple of shapes to that. We can learn how to shade in the value. And then it makes it just the right ingredients, just the right piece of art. So that's what we're going to work on today. We've talked a little bit about the definitions of line. We've talked about the definitions of shape, space, value, texture, color, and form. And so today we're going to mix them all together and learn how to create just that perfect piece. Okay, so what we have here is a still life drawing. This is what you guys are going to be working on next. And this is where we're going to incorporate all of the elements except one. What do you think one element is that's definitely not shown on this drawing? Sophia? Color. Color's definitely not here. That was an easy one. Color will come in when we start painting and when we do some other types of projects later on down the road. Right now, we're going to focus on line. We can see there are several different types of lines included within this drawing. We're definitely going to talk about shape. Remember when we discussed shape and we talked about organic or geometric shapes? What were the easiest ones, in your opinion, to draw? Geometric or organic? Geometric. Geometric were easier because we've always drawn circles, we've always drawn squares and triangles. You probably learned those back when you were in kindergarten. But when I asked you to draw a plant, or when I asked you to draw an onion or an apple, that's a little more difficult because there are so many different shapes of those. And we have to figure out what geometric shape they most closely resemble. It makes it easier to draw that way. We're going to be using space, and one type of space in particular. Does anybody know what type of space we've used most often in here? We talked about when one thing is sitting in front of another. Overlapping. Very good. And then we talked about value. And we definitely have value within this drawing. There's, shading. And it has a light source. And our light source in here is coming from? Coming from up top, above us. And so it's shining down on top of the objects. Therefore, where's the lightest part going to be? The top. And then the bottom is going to be the darkest. And then we definitely have texture. We have some shiny texture on the apples. We have a little bit of texture on the flowers. We have some texture on the basket as well. So each of those elements of art are certainly included within the drawing. And then we've shown form. And the way that we show form in here, within this drawing, is by using value and overlapping. That makes things appear to be three-dimensional versus a very flat two-dimensional. Okay? Anybody have any questions about that? All right, thank you.